All right, everybody. Good evening. My name is Captain Johnson. I am the executive officer here for Recruiting Station Albuquerque, and I'm also the program manager for the Nrtc Scholarship Marine Option. Next slide, please. So these are the benefits for this. So we pay full tuition, ranging from $150,000 to $180,000. The only thing that we don't cover is room and board, but your universities at times will also cover that in addition to the scholarship, like myself. So you have a great chance of actually coming out of college 100% debt free. The difference between the Nrtc scholarship and the Naval Academy is our stipend that we provide. It starts off at $250 and does increase by $100 up to your senior year, and you still maintain those same benefits from your university, and you actually start your reserve time while you're with the Nrtc scholarship as well. Next slide, please. Some of the eligibility requirements. So you definitely have to be a U.S. citizen in between the age of 17 to 23. And you have to take a second-class physical fitness test, which consists of a 3-mile run, pull-ups, crunches, and or now including planks. And then you also have to be a high school senior or have no more than 30 credit hours at whichever institution. Next slide, please. You must also graduate high school, clearly. But as well as that, you must have a minimum of a 1,000 on the SAT, a 22 on the ACT, or a 74 on the ASVAB. You do not need to have all three of those to meet the requirements. If you got a 999 on the SAT, but you ended up getting a 26 on the ACT, that is completely fine. You are still eligible for the Nrtc scholarship. Also, on top of that, you're also going to be pursuing enrollment at a participating school that offers a Nrtc program, either that college or university, or they have what they call like a partner program with another university that offers that service. Next slide, please. So these are just a few of the schools, that actually participate in the Nrtc program. You have Berkeley, you have San Diego, you have University of New Mexico. You even have some of the senior military academies like Citadel and Norwich University. I attended Norwich myself, so it was a great experience going into something that if you're not able to get into one of the other federally funded academies, you can always apply for Citadel, Norwich, VMI, and you'll be able to still have somewhat of an experience that way. Next slide, please. In terms of the obligation, as a freshman, you have no obligation, none. Your obligation begins whenever you become a sophomore, and it's standard 4 years, active duty 4 years on the reserve side. And that, once again, that starts at the beginning of your sophomore year. Upon your graduation, you will commission as a second lieutenant in the Marine Corps. The only difference that we have in terms of service obligations is if you are guaranteed a flight contract. Depending on your schooling, your obligated time will change because it does take a little bit more time for us to train our future aviators. Next slide, please. For our college academic requirements, you can select any undergraduate major. The Marine Corps does not care. They do not have a stipulation in terms of what major you must have. So that's also another benefit of this program. You do not have to have a specific major. I know a good amount of Marine Corps officers that majored in music, and they're serving phenomenally. But you must enroll in a full-time course load, and that's going to be determined by your academic institution. And you must also maintain a good academic standing of a 2.0 or above GPA. Next slide. During the school year, these are the classes that you'll have. You'll have officership as one of your naval classes per semester. You'll wear a uniform to that specific class. You are still a regular college student, just much like the Army and the Air Force ROTC scholarship. You are a regular college student that you'll just wear our uniform on a specific day. And 9 times out of 10, it is usually whenever you have that naval class for that semester. And then also once through the week, you'll have a naval science lab where you'll spend 2 to 3 hours just actually building on those leadership opportunities, those leadership traits that you need to learn, in addition to various other activities. And on top of that, in the mornings, you'll conduct physical training 2 to 3 times per week. That's going to depend on your naval battalion. For the summer training, the first summer is called Core Training for Midshipmen. And that's a month-long process. It was probably the most fun thing that I had done in college, that was paid for by the government. And I also got paid as a sergeant during the summertime. So in addition to your monthly 250 up to 400, you're also getting the active duty pay for someone that's actually in the Marine Corps, that's been in the Marine Corps for about 5 years. But for the summer training, your first week is, depending on how they have it scheduled, is submarine week. So you get to learn a lot about submarines. You actually also get to go on one. I remember my time on the submarine. It was the best thing that I had to experience out of that 4-week training period. There's just nothing like being on a submarine, and it was absolutely awesome. Then you have SWO week, where you get to go on a destroyer, frigate, whichever type of naval vessel, and you get to actually go out there for a week. Then you have Aviation week, where you learn about various aircraft. You will have the opportunity to fly a training aircraft, of course, with supervision of an actual trained aviator. But you'll also be trained to how to do that on the basics. Nothing crazy. So, and then the last week is Marine week. Live fire weapons training, learning how to do urban warfare, breaching doors, setting off explosives, like all the things that you see in the commercials, which are true, is what you get to experience for an entire week. And that's your first summer as a Nrtc midshipman. Next slide, please. Your second summer will be where you go to Marine Corps Mountain Warfare Training Center, which is in Bridgeport, California. It's about a 1 to 2 week evolution, and you get trained on all your mountain survival skills, field craft, your small unit tactics, and then you also get to go through the terrain ranging from 6,000 to 12,000 feet, and you'll demonstrate those learned skills. If you don't end up going to Mountain Warfare Training Center, you'll end up going to the amphibious warfare course. You'll be able to go to an amphibious unit, and you will actually get to attach to them for about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on their availability and their training schedule. But you'll get to attach them 4 to 6 weeks, learn what they do as amphib Marines, and 9 times out of 10, you'll also get to go on one of those amphibious ships, as well as those amphibs that go from ship to shore. Next slide, please. Your third summer, which is your most important summer, is whenever you're going to go to Officer Candidate School. Your first 3 years in the Nrtc program are prepping you to go to Officer Candidate School. The 3 things that are going to be graded on are academics, physical training, and leadership. All of these things are going to be tested in a stressful environment to ensure that you have the qualities to lead Marines. Next slide, please. All right, this is how to apply. You go to nrtc.navy.mil and you complete the online application. Once you fully complete the application, please ensure that you click submit. We do have some students that forget, and it's unfortunate. We'll start the board and it's a little bit too late at that point. Once again, take the ACT or the SAT and the ASVAB. But if you are taking either one of those 2 tests, please, whenever it comes down to requesting to the agencies, make sure you select Marine Nrtc code 0656. It allows me to see already whenever you get your scores, I can see it. So you don't actually have to send it to me. And then once again, apply to any of the eligible Nrtc colleges or universities. That website, also nrtc.navy.mil/colleges, has a list of every single college or university that offers an Nrtc program. Next slide, please. This is what the website looks like. You can also see where it's saying online application login. You'll create your own login, and it'll essentially just walk you through the steps of how to apply. Next slide, please. Make sure that you please register. Next slide. And this is essentially what my recruiters are going to do after you submit your application on the website. The recruiters will contact you. I will also contact you, and they will help you through this process so you're not alone in it. They'll help you get the necessary recommendation letters, the officer interview, being screened by myself, an additional officer, and then we will get you to the goal of getting that $180,000 check. Next slide, please. And this is my contact information. I also put it in the group chat below towards the top. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you.